Peace, beautiful people. Salute, salute. I am in the building. Let me know if you guys can hear me okay. Let me know if we are good. Looks like I'm in the clear, of course. Checking my settings. Okay, so I basically wanted to come through really quickly, and I didn't anticipate, um, making this uh, a long live. Hopefully, you guys could hear me okay. Um, Throw a 9 in the chat if y'all can hear me good. Let me know that we are on green. Let's see. Okay, we got some family coming in the building. Hey everybody, peace to you, Coach Hudson. Nice to see you. My beautiful sister Chiquila Fields. Hey beautiful sis, how you doing? The richest one is in the building with his hearts. Thank you, King. I appreciate you always. Hey Devonte F, how are you? PG is in the building. We got the King Demo. Salute everybody. My beautiful sister Cameron. Hey sweet sister, how you doing? Lovely to see you. Okay, I got my nines in the chat. I'm fired up, y'all. I'm ready to go. When I see my nines, it's go time. Salute to everybody in the building. Um, yeah, sorry you guys for like the late notice, but initially I was just going to I was really just going to make a commentary, like do a regular video. But I figured, why not come and touch base and talk to you guys, one on one, sit with the family and, have you guys join me in the conversation because, of course, there's so much that, I wanted to touch upon without being too long winded because I know it's a little bit later in the evening and I know that the Queens of the Ring have a show tonight. And I didn't want to intrude on anybody's time for anybody who intended to go channel hopping elsewhere to, support the brothers and sisters who are going to be doing their thing tonight. But I just definitely wanted to come on and touch base with the family. I felt like it would be much better to do that with you guys than just make a regular video the way I initially intended to. So I'm here with the family. Hey, King Freedom, I see you in the building. Thank you for coming, beautiful King. I appreciate you. Yeah, so what a night of boxing we got last night, you guys. What? I was very, very satisfied as a boxing enthusiast. I was very pleased with the fight card. Some highly intense matchups on that card. Facts or no, y'all? God damn, that card was actually pretty litty, for the undercard and stuff like that. We had Cool Boy getting there and do his thing. We had Pitbull Cruz go through a hellacious fire with who BFTB called the fiery hot bum, which was absolutely perfect. I woke up cracking up to myself when I was trying to recall the fight. I didn't even call that damn man Fiero, however you say his name. I couldn't even call him by his name. I was like, yeah, Cruz and fiery hot bum. That damn BFTB is something else, I tell you. That shit was hilarious, but it was so fiery hot. That was so funny. That was such a strong card that, was put on last night. I was thoroughly impressed. And it really made me think about, what boxing really, really is. And of course, what it can be because of all that we saw last night really came from the roots and the spirit of what boxing actually is. And we witnessed that last night with that wonderful, wonderful performance between the clash of the two beautiful brothers, those two beautiful titans, the Davids, David Morrell and David Benavidez. I was so impressed, you guys. And, I really wished that, all of the boxing matchups in 2025 can look like this, with that type of anticipation, with the real and raw emotions that were displayed in that ring. Pitbull had, beef with that gentleman, Fiero, and their weigh-ins and their press conferences, the heat, every time they go toe to toe and head to head, with each other. It was intense at those press conferences and at the weigh-ins and stuff like that. And they brought all that intensity to the ring with them. Same thing with the Davids, the Benavidez and the Morrell. Absolutely wonderful. And it was especially wonderful to see Cool Boy get in there, and have a second win. And this time, with even more ease than he did in the first fight. So I was happy to see him in there doing his thing. That man came in there with his goddamn denim shorts on with the Timberland boots. I was like, hold up, is Brooklyn in the building? What's popping? He got the Timbs on. I was ready to grab my Timbs out the closet. You feel me? I was feeling the Timbs. I was like, hold up. Don't make me bring Brooklyn out here and act a fool. What? I was about to be stomping all up and down in my living room with my damn Timbs, with my beef and broccoli Timbs. What's popping? I love the spirit of that. I was like, yes, cool boy. Let them know what time you on. That's absolutely what you got to do. Let these people know what time it is. So absolutely wonderful card last night. I know that everybody else enjoyed it as well. I'm sure that you did. You had to be a corpse to not be sitting up in your feet. No matter what, particular fight you decided to tune into. Cromwell Morton, got his victory as well. Interesting stuff that was going on. Now, all that to say that the sport of boxing, as I was alluding to a little bit earlier, the sport of boxing, was full of life last night, you guys. I cannot stress that enough. The sport of boxing was alive. The sport of boxing was well and kicking and punching and thriving in the ring last night, you guys. Do you hear me? The Davids done showed up. They done showed all the way out. And I cannot say enough about that particular matchup, y'all. I was definitely in my lust. Firstly, of course, big congrats to that damn Mexican monster, Benavidez. What? Who showed up with all that ferociousness and that mean streak that we know he got in his bag. Okay, it was all on the table and on full display. What? The man was mean mugging in between rounds. I'm like, okay, David. Okay, hold up. Now, I was like, damn. And did y'all see that motherfucker working last night? He clocked all the way in. Benavidez is something else. He's different. I've been saying it for a long time. I think that first time that I really, really started rocking heavy with Benavidez was when he fought, what's that Love guy? The guy that used to be with TMT. Love something. His last name is Love. When he was cursing his ass out, this was some years ago, y'all. This had to be like maybe 2018, something like that. That's the first time I really saw Benavidez and became a fan of him, because I saw that mean streak and that fire is still in him. And he put it on full display last night against Morrell. Of course, we had nothing short of it, because all in the lead up to this fight, Benavidez was like on 25. He wasn't even on 10. That man jumped an extra 15 points and said, nah, meet me on 25, son. He's been mean this whole entire time, and he made sure to take out every ounce of that aggression last night in the ring. And same thing for Morrell. Morrell did his thing as well. He looked really good in the fight, of course, until he didn't, with the dominance of Benavidez. But yeah, Benavidez is something else. He's of a different cloth. He's of a different make. And Morrell Jr. showed why. To me last night, Morrell Jr. showed why he had been calling Benavidez's name for as long as he had been. Okay? Because inside, even though he's only 11 fights in or whatever have you, Morrell knew that he had something for Benavidez. He knew that in him. People wanted to call him a novice. People wanted to say, it's too early. It's much too soon. Morrell knew that he was a worthy opponent to stand in the ring with somebody like Benavidez. He knew that, and he showed and he proved that last night. Did he not, y'all? Did Morrell not show and prove that he was a worthy opponent to stand in there with Benavidez? I think he absolutely did. It was a wonderful exchange. It was a wonderful gauging of energy. I love the tit for tat, competitiveness between them. They had something to prove. They left it all on the table. And I thought it was a spectacular performance, that I witnessed last night. That's for sure. And it proved to me that Morrell was one of Benavidez's toughest opponents, you guys. And did you guys see that, Benavidez admitted, that Morrell was the hardest puncher that he had faced in the ring yet up until this point? Wasn't that something when he said that? It's something incredible about, when the respect is earned from a worthy opponent. I loved seeing that. Okay. I was definitely in my lust. I was in my bag watching that. I love seeing that level of warriorship and heart and courage on display. Y'all know what type of time I'm on. That's what I want to see as a boxing fan. And I thought that we got a beautiful night of boxing for sure, all across the board. right? Oh, my people's talking to me. Let's see what they're saying. Let's see what my people's saying. Demo. Oh, is it demo or demo? Beautiful King. Let me know. Is it demo like, oh, I'm sending you a demo? Because I always say demo. Let me know now. All right. Hey, King Daryl, what's up? What's up, Daryl? My gunner is in the building. How you doing? NPR, hello. He says, I love women's boxing take because they're logical and can't be fanboys. You right about that. Yes, it was a great card, Freedom. It definitely was. Dante F says, Cool Boy looked great, didn't he? With his damn Tims. Okay. I was like, yes, let's go with the Tims. Who to go? What's up, King? He says the PBC card was strong. Wasn't it? Wasn't it strong? I absolutely loved it. The fool ass Earthman is in the building. Hey, King, nice to see you. The King PG says Mexican Monster is the real deal. Morrell Jr. just needs some more experience and a variety of his punches. Yes, I can definitely see that. Who the Goat says I lost money on Morrell Jr. Thought he could pull off the upset. You know what? A lot of people did because, we see the work that Morrell, does, and we see the level of warriorship that he brings to each of his fights. You know what I'm saying? He goes in for the kill when he smells blood. He doesn't back down, and he is not a timid fighter. And so, it makes sense that a lot of people would have, backed Morrell or would have supposed that Morrell could pull off the upset for sure. Yeah, I'm not mad at that. Quite frankly, I went with Benavidez because I knew that level of experience was, probably a little bit higher in par compared to that of Morrell. He had fought on that level. He fought the likes of the Plants. He fought the likes of the Andrades and stuff like that. Crazy contenders. And of course, his skills, got him the victory each and every time. So of course I was leaning on that, but I'd be remiss if I, sat here and fronted like I didn't also think that Morrell could pull off the job. For me, it was a split decision, even though I leaned, of course, more towards Benavidez. But something in my heart of heart was telling me that Morrell was going to, bring a really good fight to the table for sure. Daryl said, not the beef and broccoli, son, I got the beef and broccolis on deck. You feel me? I got the wheats. I got the beefs and broccolis was popping. I got the chicken and broccoli and the beef and broccolis, Daryl. You know what time it is with us over here in New York. Okay? Yes, I did. When I saw Schoolboy stepping, I was like, hold up. Let me go in here in this here closet and pull my babies out. Okay? Because he is showing up with the Tims. I was ready for it. I was like, hold up, Bed-Stuy all day. Bed-Stuy do or die. But I was in for, hey, Teach, what's up? He says, salute, Sugar Free. Salute to you as well, King. Nice to see you. Electric, what does that say? Electrified Tree. Hey, nice to see you. Thanks for coming. Appreciate you. Yeah, you guys. So, what's at hand here is that because this fight was so imperative. And, I think it's quite possible that the larger boxing world, like aside from us, of course, aside from us real ones who really do this boxing shit and who really love this boxing shit, I think that the larger boxing world really quite possibly doesn't understand or know the degree of importance that this fight held last evening. Like, I'm not sure if people really allow the severity of this fight and what this fight means to translate to them for what it is. By that, I am saying what this fight meant to me last night, above all things, was that, all of the excuses of the quote unquote politics that are at play in boxing is to a very substantial degree of little to no imperative whatsoever when you are dealing with fighters and serious fighters and warriors who are absolutely set on creating and solidifying a legacy for themselves. All of the politics and politricks go out the window. Okay? Don't tell me about no goddamn business of boxing. Don't tell me about, things take time, Don't tell me about, let's let it marinate a little bit. I don't want to hear that shit. The Davids proved to us last night that all of that shit goes out the window when you got two G's in the building, when you got two kings in the building, ready to step on business and ready to get this shit popping. None of that stuff matters. All of that politics and business of boxing and all of the other stuff like that goes completely out of the window when you got two killers who really want to get out there and prove themselves. You feel me? And the Davids absolutely proved that. And, I spoke on that as I have, in my previous commentaries when I touched upon, videos concerning, the severity of this. I've long been saying that the fact that those two men stepped up to the plate, signed the contract. And of course, last night, all of it commenced, all of it, came to a culminated point. Everything exploded. Everything materialized in front of us last night. And we got the fight. That says everything about what can really happen in boxing if people are serious and put the antics and the sassy shit down. Real talk, if I'm going to, be blunt here. You know what I mean? All the talk need not be done on Twitter. All that talk need not be, full of fluff and, a bunch of smoke and mirrors and sassy popularity contests. All of that doesn't need to be done in order to generate a fight. None of that matters whatsoever. What is needed is the need to prove oneself among the best, among the people who are worthy. That is all that is needed, is the heart that says that. The heart that says, who's the motherfucker that y'all think is the one? Bring him to me today. That's what's needed in this sport. This your king? Call him and I want him. Bring him to me now. Or better yet, I'm coming to him. Where is his turf? I'm knocking his door down. Okay? That's the heart. That's what the Davids did. They looked at each other. They said, oh, you the best? And the other one looked at him and said, you think you're the best? All right, where we meeting? Sign me the fuck up. That's what they both said to each other. And that's what we got last night. Beautiful warriorship on display, you guys. Excuse me? I was a kid in a damn candy store. That is boxing. That's the spirit of boxing. None of this shit means a damn thing if these fighters are refusing to go in there with their contemporaries, an elite just like them, somebody of warrior heart just like they're supposed to be, somebody with a chip on their shoulder just like they're supposed to have. Okay? They're equal. That's who they get in there with. Somebody with something to prove too. That's where the fire exchange, that's where the iron is sharpening the iron. Okay? It's against that type of person who will sharpen a fighter, who will forge a fighter and demand of that fighter that they show how great they are in that moment of battle. That's where you get put through the fire, but you gotta be put through the fire, right? Every great sword passes through the fire. Okay, the fire and the heat is your opponent, and you're the same for them. Iron has to sharpen iron, and I thought that was a exemplary performance that we got last night, and I thought it was a wonderful example of that fighting spirit. It was beautiful to witness. Beautiful to witness, you guys, especially coming from a time where we have seen so much motherfucking talk, like so much Twitter beefs. So much, pity pat. Oh, I'm too cute, to be doing this, or you're not worthy, or you're not good enough, or you have to jump through these types of hoops, or you got to buy these particular types of red bottoms. You got to paint your nails this color for me to get in the ring with you. You got to hold your pinky up while you sip this lemonade in the right way, and the light got to hit you from this particular angle for me to be interested in fighting in you. What the hell have we been witnessing in boxing, you guys, for the last couple of years? How long have we been dealing with this? This motherfucking, sassy, prissy. Oh, I only do this and I'm a diva and you cannot talk to me if, you didn't do this, or if you don't look this particular type of way, I'm not going to get in the ring with you. How long have we been subjected to that mentality? How long have we been talking about that type of mentality that is ruining boxing? Okay? Not only among the fanboys who uphold that type of logic, but from fighters themselves. And that mentality has spanned divisions. But of course, most notably, we have seen that within the 135 division. Most notably and most severely. Okay? I want the smoke. I don't want the sassy times. Sassy times is, what do I always say? Get that sassy shit, what? The fuck out of boxing. Get it out of here. Okay? And the Davids, they talk my language. They don't look at me like I'm crazy when I be setting these motherfuckers on fire, because they on fire and they want to get it popping too. That's why I rocks with them. That's why those two men are among my favorite fighters. Benavidez is absolutely pound for pound for me. Okay. And Morrell, more than earned my respect twofold for showing up the way that he did last night and not backing down. Okay. So, these type of kings are who I stand behind. That's why they got my support forever. As long as they standing on business, I'm standing on business 10 toes right next to them. That's the type of shit that I want to see. Okay? What we saw last night was every bit an ode to the old days, was it not? Did we not get that old school vibe? Okay, of the top contenders, the top contemporaries going against each other? That's definitely an ode to the old school ways of boxing, to that old spirit that we know and love. Okay? It was also an ode of today. It was an homage of what can be, of today's boxing era. Okay? And simultaneously, it was also a glimpse into what can be tomorrow, should these young competitors of right now, of the current boxing landscape, continue on with that type of heart and that type of spirit and that type of courageousness that we saw between the Davids. Okay? It showed that boxing can very much be alive and well in the next 25, 50, 100 years to come. With that type of spirit at the forefront, child, please, we're going to have plenty of good boxing matches to look forward to for ourselves and our babies and our grandbabies. That's what makes boxing great. That's why I titled this, The Davids Made Boxing Great Again, because they did. Did they not? Did they not make boxing great again, you guys? Were we not kicking back and going, oh my God, and holding our heads and screaming and standing and sitting and throwing pillows and whatever it was that we was doing while we were watching these intense matches on that card? Absolutely wonderful to see, you guys. Absolutely wonderful to see. Boxing is very much in good hands. Should these, current young fighters take a page out of the book of the Davids and shut all the typing down, shut all the tweets down, answer everybody's questions and shut all the speculations, to a quiet simmer by stepping in the ring and not being afraid to get into the fire. All of that can be shut down. Absolutely demolished, because they would be getting in there and answering the questions, not only for the boxing fans, but most importantly for themselves. And the Davids answered plenty of questions for themselves last night. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. Now, David Benavidez once again showed us who he is. The man was in there boxing absolutely beautifully. I was quite surprised, you guys. His defense? Did y'all see Benavidez's defense? His defense was much sharper than I've seen in the past. I love that he added to his arsenal. Okay? He done improved on some footwork. Did y'all see the motherfucking little shuffle? Ali shuffle that he pulled up? I was like, okay, David. David showed up. Let's go, Benavidez. Sharpen those tools. Okay? Every warrior got to sharpen their tools. There's always room to improve. And David improved quite a bit, especially on that, the footwork and the defense. I was absolutely surprised. Okay? I absolutely also loved the jab as well. His jab was leading most of all his major shots. He controlled Morrell very well in the, in those mid to later rounds with it. He looked absolutely good to me. And probably my favorite tools that he used throughout that fight was the damn uppercuts and that body work. Did you guys see how he was punishing that damn Morrell's body? Pretty much from start to finish. Did y'all see the demolition job that man was doing? God damn, he was investing in Morrell's body pretty much from the outset. You know what I'm saying? Those earlier rounds, he was touching him up. And then as the rounds went on, he was sitting on them things, boy. He was letting them things go. I was like, okay. He was dedicated to that body. Of course, he switched it up every now and again, but he'd always return home to that body. That body was home base for him. And I loved the loyalty that he pledged to Morrell's body. I loved it. He stuck there. He didn't want to let it go. He was like, nah, we're going to break this man down in pieces slowly. He was heavy-handed. He was mean. And he had every bad intention when he was throwing those things. I love the body work that he displayed. Absolutely wonderful. Okay? Punishing. And it definitely took its toll on Morrell. I felt like that body work is what ultimately led to Morrell's, apparent slowing down. particularly in those latter rounds, I'm sure you guys noticed, that Morrell pretty much, gassed pretty much. He slowed down. There were points where he just kept the high guard up and he wasn't really returning any answering shots to Benavidez. So I think a lot of that was due to that body work that was just, coming in an onslaught from Benavidez. Okay. Morrell's output and work rate was nearly cut in half because of a lot of that body work and that investment in the body that Benavidez was making. So very, very smart boxing. The IQ was definitely on display from Benavidez. He picked his shots really well. He knew where to make his investments. He was, in and out where he needed to be. He looked really good to me. Okay. Now, Morrell, he pretty much looked vicious and awake, and he was pretty much still a dog. I'm saying? He came alive in certain moments, even in those latter rounds. He wanted to show that he was not going to wither under pressure and stuff like that. It was evident to me, however, that, that body work, took a toll on Morrell's stamina, however. So yeah, it was really intense, you guys. Really, really intense. Now, speaking of stamina, I was highly impressed with Benavidez's work rate. Did y'all see his work rate, y'all? Did Benavidez ever, really tire out in that fight? Even with the devastation that he was throwing, the haymakers that he was throwing all night at Morrell, the work rate was absolutely phenomenal from David Benavidez. I mean, geez, the boy never clocked out. I was like, are you clocking out? Are you ever going to clock out? He was like, not over here. Okay. Benavidez was on overtime. He said, nah, I'm here to cash my motherfucking check, baby. And I loved every bit of it. He was locked in. He was mean as hell. Basically after the bell in each round, did y'all see him throwing dirty looks and mean mugging Morrell like he wanted to pull those damn gloves off and take it to the damn parking lot and beat his ass in the street? That damn Benavidez is an absolute dog. An absolute dog. I loved it. He looked like in an interview before the fight, sometime maybe a week prior to the fight, he had said that he was in the best shape of his life. He said that he did everything that he needed to do in training. The training was successful, and it absolutely showed. His stamina was very, very impressive, you guys. Very impressive. Now, Morrell was a dog too. All that to say, we got to give the credence where it's due. Morrell was definitely a dog, okay? We got to put respect on David Morrell's name. He came in there. He stood head to head, toe to toe with Benavidez, okay? There was no shiver in his step. No quiver in his liver, okay? He came in there saying, listen, I'm going to put this man to sleep. I'm going to do everything that I need to do. The man came up short, but he looked really, really great, especially in the earlier half of the fight to me. He looked confident. He looked ready to do the job. And you know what? How often do we see Benavidez on the ropes taking any type of, flurry or onslaught of punches? We don't see stuff like that. And Morrell had that man up on the ropes, okay? Morrell was working. He was in there to work. Now, I can say that I would have liked to see more boxing from Morrell. Do you guys agree with that? I would have liked to see more boxing from Morrell. Now, we already know that Morrell comes from Cuba, that's the coveted boxing school, I'm saying, Cuban boxing style and stuff like that. So I was expecting to see more boxing. I'm saying? He did well with the style that he chose, I guess, up until a certain degree, the standing there toe to toe with Benavidez, but he certainly fought, in my view, he fought in Benavidez's style. You know what I'm saying? It was basically very close range, inside heavy, type of fighting. It was inside centric. He didn't really, find or capture the distance. He had success for sure, in those toe-to-toe exchanges and the standing there and exchanging with Benavidez. But I believe that if he managed the distance, a little bit better, more effectively, those significant shots that he wound up taking, he could have probably been avoided, okay? Because particularly in those latter rounds, he started taking a lot of shots to the head. And in those moments where he wasn't really answering back with his own shots, he was susceptible to a lot of punishment from Benavidez. And I think that if he had managed some distance, of course, he could have kept a lot of that at bay. He did, of course, knock Benavidez down in the 11th. I think that was a crazy ass right hook he landed, and he sent goddamn Benavidez to the canvas. What? Child, I was on my feet at that particular point. But of course, Benavidez, being the dog and the monster that he is, quickly got up on his feet, Okay? And he began throwing a damn hailstorm of his own goddamn punches on Morrell. He said, oh, y'all not going to catch me slipping. Ciao. That fight was so intense. It was nothing but heart in that ring. You know what I mean? But yeah, like I said, I think that the distance played a significant factor as far as the dwindling of Morrell. You know what I'm saying? Better control of that distance would have changed the trajectory of the fight quite possibly, in my view. Morrell in that high guard and standing there and, trying to go blows for blows. It's like, how long can you keep up that pace? Like for an intense 12-round match like that, you got to mix it up. I would have liked to see him mix it up a little bit with some more boxing, included in that. It's like, okay, well, what was the game plan? Was the game plan to just stand in front of Benavidez all night? Like, was that what you and Ronnie Shields were discussing? I found that to be a little bit peculiar, especially considering that Morrell is widely considered to have much better footwork than Benavidez, right? So it was interesting to see the dynamic that it was Benavidez who was stepping back and making Morrell miss, certain shots and things like that. And it was interesting to see Morrell kind of staying planted, not really showing any versatility and not really making any adjustments in real time, to establish a sense of distance. He was allowing Benavidez to pretty much, cut the gap between them, to split that distance between them. Virtually everything, the entire fight was fought in close range. I thought that was very, very interesting, especially considering that we know Morrell to be of that Cuban style, which is known for its footwork and, for an elite boxing style. You know what I'm saying? I thought that was really interesting. But yeah, let's see what my people are talking about. I see y'all chatting to me. I'm going to go back just a bit. Oh my God, my sister Nick J. Hey, beautiful sister. Nice to see you. I'm trying to catch y'all in a bit. Are y'all going live tonight, beautiful sis? Let me know. I don't want to cut into you guys' time. Let's see what my people are talking about. Boxing is back. I don't know how to say this name. It looks like a whole bunch of hieroglyphs or Greek letterings, but peace to you. Nice to see you. Thank you for coming. The lovely King Daryl says, I honestly wouldn't mind for. Thank you, Daryl. You read my mind. Now, that's what I was getting to. I would love to see a rematch of that fight. I don't know about y'all. Who else want to see a rematch of that fight at some particular time? I mean, even if it doesn't, happen this year, I think that's a fight definitely worth revisiting, you guys. That fight was so intense, and I think their energies are perfect for each other. You know what I mean? I would love to see that fight again. The Coach Hudson says, very sassy games that was being played, but the time has come to get that the fuck up out of boxing. You ain't never lied, Coach Hudson. Pokey Bear, nice to see you. Clarissa fights tonight. Yes, she does, sis. Yes, she does. I can't wait to see it. Demo, please correct me. Did you correct me? Is it demo or demo? Write it again, or maybe I'll scroll and come across it, but I hate to say people's name wrong. He says, they proved that let the fight marinate is BS. Thank you, King. Exactly my point earlier. Absolutely. Mr. Justin McGee, good evening. Nice to see you. He said, hit the like button ASAP. Oh, thank you, King, for reminding me. You guys, please hit the like button. I always forget to say that, but I know that it's important for the algorithm. And of course, we want to get the algorithm twerking for us tonight. Hey, let's get some twerking of the algorithm going on. King Darrow says, I've learned twice not to bet against Benavidez, against Plant and against Andrade. Really? But you know what? It's not. Listen, those two men, particularly Benavidez, Plant and Boo Boo, that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Because we already know what Andrade is bringing. Andrade is a master fighter. Like, he's not normal at all. You know what I mean? Like, he's one of them ones. So, you know what I'm saying? I was betting for Andrade as well. I was rooting for Andrade as well. I didn't bet, but I was rooting for Andrade because Andrade is one of my favorite fighters. You know what I'm saying? And Benavidez really became one of my gunners after that particular fight. That's when he really became one of my favorite fighters, when he beat Andrade, for sure. Coach Hudson says he was trying to stiff his hips to keep him from using his Cuban footwork. Wonderful plan. Yeah, I mean, and that IQ of Benavidez was absolutely on display last night. If anybody had any doubts and thought that he was robotic, and even Morrell, going into the fight saying, oh, you're robotic, all you do is stand there and come forward. He absolutely demolished and dismantled all such speculations last night. Okay. Benavidez showed IQ. Okay. He showed an ability to adjust. Okay. He and his pops had a wonderful game plan. They were not stiff in the least bit. They were very fluid. They were comfortable. That stamina was on point. Everything that's needed, to maintain, endurance and precision and, overall, availability in a fight. You want to be available. And there was nothing that didn't seem available to Benavidez. He could virtually do whatever he wanted to do. You know what I'm saying? Especially as he was breaking down that body, those later rounds, he could just, flick a jab at him if he wanted to, and it would land. He looked beautiful in that ring for sure. Teach says both guys were gassed. Benavidez was still throwing punches, even though he was gassed. He didn't look gassed to me. I can't say that I saw a particular area where Benavidez looked gassed. I can say where I saw Morel look gassed because he wasn't throwing no damn punches. Where was there a moment where Benavidez, was too tired to throw his hands? That man's hands was swinging from start to finish, pretty much, and with heavy haymakers. Heavy haymakers. Hey, Steve, King Stephen, how you doing? Nice to see you. Says peace be on to you. Thank you, King. Nice to see you. Always great to have you in the building, Stephen. I appreciate you. Mr. Justin says, great fight from both fighters. Money well spent. Yeah, absolutely agree with that. I absolutely agree with that. He says that wasn't a real knockdown. In slow-mo, he hit Benavidez on the shoulder and sent him off balance. I mean, it was ruled a knockdown, and they reviewed it and again deemed it a knockdown. I can't front. I did hear a couple of people say, I didn't hear the shoulder thing, but I saw somebody, allude to the fact that it was like a slip or whatever, that he got off balance. But, it looked like a right hook, and it was said to be a right hook. The King Darrow says, Morel wasn't active enough. I thought that he was going to, thank you. Where was the boxing? I thought that he was going to box way, way more. You know what I'm saying? I could expect that in the earlier rounds, he'd want to maybe establish a sense of respect from Benavidez and show him, listen, I'm standing right here with you. I'm not going nowhere, type of deal, and establish that respect. But I was expecting the adjustments to be made, later on. But I didn't see that. He kind of kept one level, which was, stand here and bang it out and try to bang and, earn my respect in this particular way all the way through. And obviously that did not work to his benefit. Yeah, Mr. Justin McGee says, definitely want to see the rematch. Thank you. They got to make that. They have to make that at some particular point. I would love to see that again. The boxing scholar says, Shug, Shield's fighting today. Yes, she is. Yes, she is. I've been anticipating it. I can't wait to see. Did you guys see her final weigh-in and presser? She looked so good at that weigh-in. I was like, Hunty, okay, Rissa, okay. She looked really good. I'm, of course, wishing her a wonderful victory tonight. And we'll see what's popping. But I have faith that she'll get the job done. Salute to the great Mike in the building. Hey, Mike. What's up? Nice to see you. Electrified Tree said, I would like for Andre to go back down to 60 and become undisputed. Put some respect on his name. Facts. I would love to see that as well. And I think that in a recent interview, I think he was on Fight Hub, I believe. I did a commentary on that particular interview breakdown where I was talking about a lot of the points that he had shared. And in this same interview, he had mentioned that when he was talking about his fight with Benavidez, the weight difference and how much bigger Benavidez was and stuff like that. And even him having to cut down to 68, Benavidez was still very much bigger than he was. So it's like, damn, well, of course they're big boys, up there. You know what I mean? So Benavidez won't be the only person who's really, naturally much, much bigger than you are. Wouldn't it be a good idea, to go back to 60? So I don't know. I would love to see him go, conquer that division. And 60 is like a ghost town. So it would be great for him to go, he can clean that shit up overnight. He could reign and take that whole land over of 160 overnight. So I would love to see him do that as well. It's wide open for him to do so. And there's no reason why he wouldn't be successful at doing so. It's wide open for him to just snatch it up at any particular point. Hey, Black Martial Arts Society, nice to see you. The King Darrow says, yeah, I remember that video. I think he's considering 160. Yeah, I think that would be a very good idea. It's completely wide open, you guys, for Andre to go over there and rule. Comfortably rule. Okay? So it'll be great. I think I heard something about, I don't know if this is true, but I heard maybe something about EJ fighting Lara or something like that. In one of my lives, somebody shared that with me, that they had heard that. Now, of course, that's not anything confirmed or anything like that. But imagine EJ at 160. You know what I mean? But there's so much food for him at 54. It'll be crazy to see him, run through there. But I guess first things first is that we gotta check in on his health, because he's not gonna be, ruling anything if his health is not in order, or whatever issues that he has, aren't straightened out. Justin McGee says, I like Benavidez's birth. I'm sorry, I like Benavidez versus Beterbiev. Bivol versus Morel. Yes, I was thinking about that as well. And that was one of the questions that I had to ask you guys written down. And you pretty much, there it is. What y'all think about the Beterbiev versus Benavidez and Bivol versus Morel? I think that's beautiful. Beautiful matchups. Either one. I would definitely pay. I would run to pay to see that. Wonderful fights, wonderful matchups. Electrify Tree says, real talk plus gaining so much leverage. And imagine a Charlo fight there. What? If he's locked, what? If he's locked in, of course. Thank you. Electrify Tree. We speak the same language, King. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Wonderful. I would love to see that. You heard that too, Justin McGee? Wow. So that must be something buzzing, because somebody put me on to that. If it wasn't in last week's live, it was definitely it was between the week before and last week's live. Somebody had popped that up in my chat. I forget who. But yeah. So I guess it's going around. EJ at 160. That's he'll certainly be, at a healthy weight, that's for sure. You know what I'm saying? It's not anything where we'd have to expect to see him frail or, depleted any particular type of way. So, of course, if he's in a position, to be healthy, that's where I want to see him overall and above all. I want to see EJ healthy, whether that's at 54, whether that's at 60, wherever he's going to be able to be comfortable and be at his best and do his best is where I want to see him. For sure. Oh, that was you? Oh, okay. He said, yeah, I did. Okay. You putting me on to some tea, Mr. McGee. The Coach Hudson says, now that would be a dog fight. Won't it? Won't it? The beautiful King Darrell says, something doesn't sound right between EJ and PBC. Child, don't get me started. Please don't get me started. I don't know what's going on. I really do not. I don't know if it's a PBC thing. Who is his trainer? We still have no idea. You know what I mean? What was going on with Fundora? You know what I'm saying? Why would that fight dematerialize? You know what and why were so many rumors surrounding the fight's dematerialization for the past year? Why have there been rumors circulating, the dismantling of that fight for over a year? Why is it rearing its ugly head again? Who is trying to block this fight? You know what I'm saying? Is it a partnership deal with the PBC that's, going awry? What's good? I have so many questions. Has he, really taken care? Is it a health thing? I don't know. I really don't know, you guys. Excuse me for all the noise in the background, you guys. I live in a city where everything is like loud all the time. So excuse all that noise in the background if you can hear it. The great Mike says, yes, EJ and Lara is apparently being discussed. Damn! So this is some real stuff that's going on in these boxing streets. Child. EJ and Lara. And Lara's, he up there. But Lara is still, Did you see how he looked against Danny? He looked great. So Lara has no signs of slowing down. He's always been a good fighter to me. I always liked Lara. You know what I'm saying? He beat Canelo to me. Real talk. You know what I'm saying? I like Lara. He's a really good fighter. So that's, I wouldn't be mad at that as a return fight for EJ at all. Mr. McGee says Benavidez and Morrell fighting in their 20s was This is why I decided to go live today, because I know the family that pulls up here, really do this. It was an absolute imperative what we saw last night from those two men doing it in their prime. Just like the brother said earlier, I forget who said that. I believe it was Coach Hudson who said, all of let's let it marinate. He was kind of echoing my earlier sentiments that I had expressed, about the nonsense of politics and who let this marinate for 95,000 years before they fight. Hell to the no. None of that is needed. Both of these men are young men. Okay, barely 28 years old. Okay, young gunners, young kings out here achieving, looking beautiful while they do it, racking up bodies, what I'm saying, building up their resumes. They are doing it now. They are not waiting until they're nearly 40 to get in the ring. And you don't have to do that. That does not have to become a staple or the standard in boxing at all. It's not something that we have to wait for. Now, that's not to say that there isn't an art to building up that anticipation, to building up a generated interest in a fight. No, that is always part and parcel, to garnering a level of interest and, galvanizing people's anticipation around that particular fight. I like that. But that doesn't mean that we need to take goddamn 20 years to do so. You know what I'm saying? It's a disgrace at that particular point. And that's what we have seen nonstop, amid the whole, trinity of Devin Haney and Tank Davis and Shakur Stevenson. It's like, well, what, at what point does it disintegrate? At what point? Because it's obviously it's all disintegrated now. You got Devin, touching the 147 division at this particular point. He's gone and, been undisputed, became champion and now he's looking at goddamn conquering 147 at some point next year. It's like, well, how, when is waiting evading? There's a difference between waiting and evading. Absolutely big difference between those two things. So, the beautiful brothers that we saw last night getting it in and getting it popping and cracking last night was wonderful. They put all of those excuses to bed. That 20 years in between time, does not mean for, a good fight. And it does not mean that, it'll build an anticipation for the fight any greater than it would if you got it on at a good time. They completely shattered that logic. And I really respect them and love them deeply for that as fighters. They are my favorite fighters, and they showed me why, when they signed those contracts and when they announced that they would be meeting each other in the ring. Absolutely wonderful. Wonderful. The King Darrow says, I think EJ want to come back. Something about the business side is messing things up, in my opinion. Yeah, I think he wants to come back too, because he's obviously alluded, several times over that, he'll leave when he's ready. And he's not, he's not backing down, and he's not, going anywhere. He's alluded to that, ever since the fight back in July of 23. That his intentions were to, get it back in blood. Even before he got out of the ring, he told the world that he wants it back in blood. You know what I'm saying? So, and I want that for him. So however he wants to get it, I'm with the king. I'm riding with the king. It's man down forever over here. I don't play about my EJ. EJ is one of my top killers. And, I always support him in what he wants to do. So I hope that whatever pathway can be open for him, in all the challenges that may be presenting themselves, if that's the case, hopefully they smooth themselves over, and he can come to an amicable, conclusion, whether it's with the PBC or whatever may be causing the impasse in his return at the moment. The King PG said, mad respect for Benavidez and Morrell, two warriors. Weren't they? Weren't they two warriors? absolutely fantastic to watch that, you guys. I was just like, oh my goodness, this is why I love boxing. Because real talk, I can't say that I was falling out of love, but I had begun a quite, you know, a distancing, I guess, because there's been so much charades going on, y'all. We know what time it's been. You know what I'm saying? Talking about this type of stuff and talking about the fanboys that uphold the folly and the nonsense. It's just been, a lot of talk. Everything has been talk. Everything has been salute to the prize fighter. Nice to see you. The prize is in the building. The prize. And salute to the trill. The trill will. Okay? The trillist. The will is in the building. Salute to you, King. Nice to see you. Yeah, it's just been, everything has been just so, talk based and, oh God, you guys. The sassy time has been killing a level of passion, in this whole boxing game, to the point where, I can't even look at certain fighters anymore. I'm like, listen, I don't care what fight date you announce. I don't give a damn what tickets go on sale with you. I'm through with you. Like, I've gotten to that point. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm the type of fight fan that you gotta have heat around you, and these people, not only have they cooled off, but they've gotten cold to me, and I don't like nothing cold, nothing. I don't like cold weather. I don't like cold drinks. Okay, everything is hot with me at all times. I just don't like cold things, and I think that they brought. I don't even eat ice cream, y'all. That's real talk. Like, I just don't like cold stuff, spiritually or mentally. I like things of heat. I like things of fire and of passion. So, it's been, the lackluster, the mediocre, the tepid, none of that stuff interests me at all. At all. And that's what's been going on in boxing. And so I kind of let those particular characters go, even though I'm a fan of Tank Davis, even though I'm a fan of Shakur Stevenson, because those are, well, particularly Tank Davis above all. He just cooled all the way down for me. He lost all his heat for me, and it's like, until he shows and proves, with that fire around him, with that passion, with that warrior heart, with an opponent that I can respect, with an opponent that the boxing world at large can respect, that he puts on his resume. That's the only time things will heat up again for me. Until then, that man is in the freezer. He's a body in the freezer. Real talk. Like, he's cold, all the way cold. All the way cold. The King McGee says Stephen Fulton looked pretty good last night. World Championship once again. Yeah, Stephen Fulton looked wonderful. I love the spirit. I think that he fought the I keep forgetting that damn man's name. I don't know why. I keep wanting to call him Cruz, but I don't think his last name is Cruz. I don't know why I'm forgetting the opponent's name. But anyway, I think he fought him with even more ease than he did the first time. You know what I'm saying? And it's, of course, probably because he has that knowledge and that experience, having been with him in the ring already. But, overall, Stephen Fulton looked like himself. He looked like the Stephen Fulton that we know. That we know. He looked confident. Figueroa. Thank you. What was I thinking? Cruz, you guys. Damn. There's so many, like, you know what I'm saying? I knew it was one of those damn types of names. Yes, Figueroa. He looked really good. You know what I'm saying? He had a great game plan. He looked confident. Hey, Tay-Tay, the brown sugar Tay-Tay. That's what 7-8 calls her, and I find myself calling her that now as well. Salute to my beautiful sister Tay. Yeah, he looked really, really great. He was sharp. He was on his feet. He made that man look absolutely basic. Absolutely, basic. From start to finish of that fight, he was in control. He looked dominant. He really didn't even look like he was boxing at all by the end of that fight. He looked like he went for a light jog and called it a day. You know what I'm saying? He looked sprightly. He looked healthy. I loved it. I absolutely loved it, for sure. And you know what? It was nice to see, of course, him victorious overall. But of course, it was nice to see him victorious, of course, after all of the, can I say backlash? Because it wasn't like backlash or like castigation to that level. But it was like a lot of shade thrown at him, like a lot of subliminal shade, a lot of throwing him under the rug and trying to hush his name. You know what I'm saying? As if he wasn't, a champion, a long reigning, outstanding champion, in his division for some time. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't like the way they were trying to like throw dirt on his name, like bury him low key. Like, oh, in a way got him out of there. So now he's nothing to deal with. Well, it's like, well, if he was good enough for Inoue to fight, that's the first elite black fighter or black fighter period that Inoue fought. It was enough to give Inoue his stature. These motherfuckers calling this man pound for pound because he beat this beautiful black male elite fighter champion. So don't try to tell me that the same champion ain't worth shit. I hate when people do that in boxing. That's another thing that I couldn't stand in the sport over the past few years within, the whole landscape of boxing. How they want to, bury people's name. They try to do the same thing to Earl. They try to do the same thing to Devin. I don't like when they do stuff like that. It's weird. You know what I'm saying? They wanted to bury Cool Boy. They wanted to like dismiss him and like break him down and, turn him into a ghost. And he dealt with this, with the effects of that. He said even from his own family, I'm not sure if you guys have kept up with his Twitter and stuff like that. Once he lost, all these people that were around him in his circle, from family to friends, and I'm sure, myriad aspects of, different relationship dynamics had gone asunder, after he faced that particular defeat. Very, very crazy stuff. And to see him pull through, in that first fight, but to see him, of course, look as magnificent and as radiant as he did last night is a wonderful triumph for the young king, Cool Boy. I'm very, very happy for him. Very happy for him. And I can't wait to see what's next for him. I don't want people trying to throw him, under his name as if he wasn't a phenomenal champion, for the duration of time that he reigned. You know what I'm saying? Unified champ. He was not nobody's chump. You know what I'm saying? He's the real deal. And yes, okay, so he got defeated by Inoue. Okay, what's next? Don't try to bury this man like he is some type of nobody, like some type of puss or some type of goddamn coward. Not the case. And it was wonderful to see him bounce back, and I can't wait to see him continue to put respect on his own goddamn name. That's what I'm talking about. Don't be playing with my damn fighters out here, y'all. Yes, electrified tree. He said, and unified. Exactly. The Trill Will says, I just finished watching it again. You did? Yes. How was it the second time? The King Darrow says, I was hearing rumors that Fulton was distracted and working on an album. No. Not an album. Hold up, Darrow. Not an album. What kind of album? Daryl is so crazy. The Great Mike says, one loss don't mean you're finished. Thank you. What is up with this mentality, Great Mike? Who are these sassy people that are writing this narrative and controlling this and pushing this damn narrative? I'm tired of these people. They don't belong in this sport at all. There's nothing about me that looked at Morrell last night and said, oh, well, he's finished. Goodbye. No. I said, damn, that man went up in there. He put up a hell of a fight. You know what I'm saying? He did his damnedest. Benavidez is just a better man. You know what I'm saying? Benavidez just got the better of him. I cannot wait to see what Morrell's going to do, actually, because he put up such a fantastic fight. Okay? Heart and courage was everywhere on David Morrell, just like it was on Benavidez. But somebody's got to win. I'm not any less interested in Morrell than I was yesterday before that fight. And I'm not any less interested in him than I was, the day before. Than I am now. I like David Morrell Jr. He's still one of my favorite fighters, and he's going to do a fantastic and phenomenal job at 175. And I want to see him against Bivol and all the other goddamn people over there. He's a fantastic fighter. Why wouldn't I want to see him continue? Why wouldn't I want to see him eat and thrive? Nah, he's a real one. He's a killer out here. Period. Same thing would have happened if Benavidez would have been the man who came up short last night. I still want to see him go after people's heads. That shit don't change. That cowardly perspective, really, really, blows mine. Every time I'm like, what are y'all talking about? Y'all want to sit people down so bad. It's weird to me. The King PG says, did anyone talk about Benavidez's pay-per-view sales yet? Nope. And they will never talk about it. Exactly. He says, I will never talk about it against a black fighter again. Listen, PG, you said a word. Nobody is going to inquire whatsoever about anything called the pay-per-view fighters between those two men. You know why? Because it doesn't matter. And you know why? It shouldn't matter. Not for them and not for anybody goddamn else. It only matters when they want a fighter to duck and avoid and evade another fighter. That's the only time that pay-per-view sales come up. When it's used as a measure and a cloak to, really hide the fact that you don't want to fight this person not because of their pay-per-view sales, but because you're fucking pussy. If I'm going to be blunt and if I'm going to be frank. That's why they bring up the pay-per-view. Oh, how many pay-per-view sales did you do? Oh, you didn't make this much pay-per-view? Can't fight you. On to the next. Meanwhile, they'll turn around and fight somebody who never even wrote the word pay-per-view down on paper before, let alone fought on goddamn pay-per-view. It's all a scheme and a plot to duck and avoid people who, they fear. You know what I'm saying? And if the fighters aren't doing it themselves, then it's a way for these fanboys who protect them at all costs to justify the fact that their favorite fighter isn't fighting a fucking soul. That's where that pay-per-view talk point comes from. Real talk, exactly, King Daryl. I don't know if he was rapping or singing. Daryl, please tell me why Cool Boy would be singing on his own goddamn hooks. Was he getting his goddamn Luther Vandross on? Let me find out. Daryl is a damn fool. What? The Great Mike says, lots of all-time greats have multiple losses. Thank you, Great Mike. This is why I call the Great Mike, Great Mike. This is why he gets his name. Okay? Love Great Mike. Great Mike is always speaking the facts. Absolutely true. Absolutely true. These people have no idea. You know what I'm saying? And once again, touching upon the title of this, Making Boxing Great Again, which is an ode to the past and which speaks to what can be today and what can also be tomorrow, should we maintain the mentality that, a loss or any of that doesn't matter. What matters is the valor. That's what matters. You getting in there with the warrior who is worthy. That's what matters. That's what makes all of these all-time greats greats. They wasn't great because they was damn, getting straight perms. You know what I'm saying? And wearing handbags. That's not what made them great. How many goddamn chrome hearts they have, or this name brand or that name brand, or what car, or what, you know what I'm saying? None of that dumb shit mattered. What made them all-time greats was the caliber of fighters that they fought with. Passing through the fire made them great. Not putting on lip gloss. You know what I'm saying? Not being afraid of getting touched. That's not what made them great. The fire made them great. And their willingness to go through that fire is what made them great. And what will continue to have their name solidified in the history books for years and years to come. That's greatness. That's warriorship. That's what we celebrate over here on this platform. That's why my name is Mars, because that's the spirit that I salute. The cowardly shit don't work over here. So, all these narrative pushers are insane, who are thinking, oh, well, you lost, you're damaged goods. That's the cowardly shit. That's the sassy shit. You got to be a sassy motherfucker to say some shit like that. That a loss, means that you're done forever. That means that these people have no idea, what valor is and what earning that level of valor means to a real one. I don't give a goddamn if I fell down. You best believe I'm getting the fuck up and I'm doing it again until I get you. These people don't know that heart, Great Mike. They have no idea what we're talking about. Electrified Tree says, I would like to see Morrell versus you, child. Electrified Tree. You are on one tonight. Yes, that would be an absolutely beautiful fight. Yard is a wonderful fighter. Yard is a wonderful. I'll never forget the first time I saw him. It was child. I don't even know how many years ago this was, but it was a video of him I think it was at his gym out in London with his trainer Tunde. And it was just, a training video, and he was fighting, I forget this gentleman's name. I think it's Ade. It's a huge dude in his camp who was like a heavyweight. He got a bald head. You probably seen him if you are familiar with his training videos and stuff like that. He was training with this huge dude in the ring, and I was like, who is this kid? he just looked wonderful and sharp. And I was like, oh, okay. And, I was hooked from there. And then I saw him in an actual fight, and he just, oh my God, that Kovalev, oh my goodness. Anthony Yard is one of them ones, you know what I'm saying? Even in his defeats, he really won people's hearts, for a number of reasons. He's a dog. He got that dog spirit, and, he's a really, really great boxer. He's very courageous. You know what I'm saying? He got the lion heart. I love Yard. So him and versus Morrell, oh my God. Woo. That would be a hot, fiery fight. A fiery fight. Because none of them back down. And they both, like to go in for the kill when it's there and when it's available. I would love to see that. Wonderful matchup, Electrified Tree. I like that. The King Daryl says BFTB made a good breakdown on why we cannot trust pay-per-view numbers. Yes, he did. And how many times did the beautiful King BFTB do it? The validity of these pay-per-view numbers are pretty much, up in the air and at the whim of these executives who report the numbers. They could say anything. You know what I'm saying? And, and why people like DAZN and stuff like that don't even release their numbers. You know what I'm saying? It's just, you can't really rely on that. You're really at the whim of their word at that particular point. And if it can't be substantiated, then it's like, okay, well, we're just being told that it sold 1 million pay-per-views, but where is the proof? They don't release those things. They give you a guesstimation, and we take it as truth. We take it as fact. The great Mike says, facts. They use the pay-per-view numbers as an out. You duck somebody, then fight a person who never fought on pay-per-view. Thank you, King. Ain't that some shit? And these motherfuckers are too goddamn slow to understand that. These same people who will be toting up, well, how many pay-per-views did they fight? Will be the same people who won't acknowledge the fact that the very next opponent that their favorite chose has no pay-per-view goddamn history. But trying to tell me about pay-per-view numbers and that making you valid as an opponent. That's the only way that you can be, quote unquote, chosen by their favorite. Most notably Tank Davis. Because this is really where this narrative gets spun. It's sick. Absolutely sick. The King Daryl says somewhere along the line, some of these boxing fans started becoming sexually attracted to their favorite fighters. That's where it went wrong. King, I mean, at this particular point, as we've said time and time again, while we're on BF's channel and we see it firsthand, how these people be talking on BF's channel, these fanboys who just run amok, child. I cannot even argue with that. We see it all the time, Daryl. We see it all the time firsthand, and we stay asking, like, are you okay? Or, I mean, do you got a poster, above your bed of this man? Why are you going this hard for this man? You know what I'm saying? It's okay to, analyze and criticize one's moves without having to feel like, they're being, you're disavowing them. I'm not disavowing them by making my analysis of what's going on or by being cognizant of a particular mistake or misjudgment or, whatever it is. I'm simply using my intelligence and I'm saying, okay, well, this person did X, Y, Z. Why can't they do X, Y, Z? They call it hating. And they will run and jump in front of a bullet to protect these particular men. These men don't need or want your goddamn protection. It's out of hand. The things that we've seen, Daryl, time and time again. How many times have we seen this type of nonsense? Master Eden, hello. I don't believe I've seen you before. Hello and good evening. He says, can we get more likes for the queen? Okay, Master Eden, you're on my type of time. Salute to you. Absolutely. Let's get the likes up. Because I always forget to ask. I appreciate you, Eden. Thank you. Daryl says, Pac-Man, 8 losses and 2 draws, and the people never discredited him or put him down during his entire career. You are absolutely correct, beautiful King Daryl. Lovely King Daryl. 1000%. We don't hear nobody talking about no goddamn Pac-Man. They shower that man. From head to toe, Pac-Man, the GOAT, Hall of Famer. Yes, he's one of the GOATs of our time. This man done faced he done hit the canvas, done been all types of knocked out, mollywop. Child, That man, he done received every type of abuse one could receive in that goddamn ring. And people love him. People love him. Excuse me, that was Mr. McGee. That wasn't Daryl. Yes, Mr. McGee. Yeah, nobody says that about him. Okay? And he's still coveted. He's still hailed, as one of the greats of the recent era. It doesn't stop people from giving him that credence. And it shouldn't. So why would one be, able to bypass such criticism and castigation? Meanwhile, another, you know what I'm saying, would take the full brunt of that level of disavoweling. I don't like that. The King Darrow says, Tankamaniacs. Exactly. Cough. Exactly. The Great Mike says, guys damn near come to tears arguing for Tank. Ain't that crazy? Like your boy the other day. What's his name on BF's channel? Motorsports. He was ready to fight BF the other day for such nonsense. It was crazy. The King Darrow says, nah, if they hurt Tank's feelings, it might ruin their chances to... Yes, Daryl, I'm afraid so. Exactly. Oh my goodness. Yes, you guys. So what did you guys think about Pitbull Cruz's fight? I kind of, I saw a little bit of it when I was watching it, and then I caught some of BF's commentary. That damn BF called Pitbull Cruz's opponent hot. What was it? Fiery hot garbage. What was his name? Fiery hot bum. Oh my God. That damn BFTB is so crazy. Yes, that Cruz fight was good, but I actually wound up missing a significant portion of it. I came in and I was watching it with BF, and then I had to hop on a call, so I kind of missed a lot of it. What did you guys think about that? I know that he got the W, and that it was competitive as hell. Did y'all think he looked good in that fight? Very, very interesting stuff with, hold on, let me take a sip of my drink here. Okay. Yeah, what did you guys think? That damn fiery hot bum. I know that it was damn competitive as hell. That I do know from the parts that I saw. But I didn't get to see how Pitbull closed out that particular fight. Spectacular energy between them. I think Pitbull done met his match. Y'all think they need a rematch? What y'all think? Would y'all like to see a rematch between Cruz and Fiery Hot Bum? That damn name had me cracking up when BF was saying that in his live call. I was like, what? BF got the craziest name. That man done called somebody green beans, potatoes, greens, tomatoes. That damn BF got a name for everybody. He calls, what's his name? McDoordash. You got green beans. You got back rub. You got, and now you got fiery hot bum. Oh my God, I hate BFTV. BF is crazy, but fiery hot bum was, you know what I'm saying? He was throwing down. He was giving Pitbull that business. You feel me? They was going toe to toe. They was going to war. Oh my God. Oh, they got Bumperclot too, Daryl. Do you remember Bumperclot? Bumperclot. That's one of my favorite ones. Oh my God. Who is Bumperclot? I forget what the fighter that he calls Bumperclot. Oh my God. BF is insane. Do you hear me? That man needs help. Bumperclot. Oh my God. And the sad thing is that, you know, we start to really call these men by those names. Like, cause we hear him say it, and we be low key referring to them like we know exactly who he's talking about when he says those crazy ass names. Oh my God, BF is so crazy. Oh my goodness, love the King BF. But yeah, I didn't get to see how that fight with Cruz ended. I know that he got the W. I saw that, but I didn't really get to like go back and like watch how he ended it. Did you guys like how he finished it? Oop, hold on, I got somebody saying hi to me. Hey, Hen Dog the Fearless One, salute to you as well. Nice to see you. Thank you for coming. Hey, Ra, the King Ra is in the building. Nice to see you, lovely King. Nice to see you. Oh my God, y'all. I'm over here cracking up in my head thinking about these names. Fiery Hot Bum. We got Clavicle. We got Bumbleclot. Ooh, child. Oh my God. I'm going to be laughing the rest of the evening thinking about these damn names. I love it. But yes. Um, yeah, yeah. I think that's literally all that I got. I'm trying to think if I want to if I want to see uh, if there's anything else that I want to touch on. We touched on Cool Boy. Um, Anything else? Anybody else? Oh, Clarissa Shields tonight. I can't wait to check back in with you guys on that. What else do we got here, y'all? I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Uh, Ross says, if it wasn't for BF, I wouldn't remember a few of them. They should be thankful. Yeah, you absolutely right, Ra. You are right, King Ra. So true. A lot of that nicknaming is what even makes me, you know what I'm saying, know about them because I see them like, oh, bumper clot. Oh my God. Hen Dog says, Agit Cabbage. Yo. Yeah, McDoordash. I'm like, McDoordash? Why? Why? Why does he go to these levels? I need to know. What is in this man's mind? Oh, BF is calling that fight tonight? You mean the Clarissa Shields? Oh, I didn't know that. I did not know that. I will definitely be tuning into the King. It's a war on right now. The undercard with Clarissa. Okay. Okay, you guys. So I guess Clarissa, so it's, well, at least Eastern time, right where I am on the East Coast. It's 9 p.m. So uh I guess we could end here. Of course, I don't know if you guys want to catch that undercard, fight. And of course, if BF is gonna call the main fight, like the Sister Cameron said, then I'll try to pop up in BF chat and watch it alongside with you guys. If he's calling it, if it's indeed the case that he'll be calling that. But yeah, I definitely just wanted to come through and talk with the family. Thank you guys so much for, rolling up on your girl. I really do appreciate it. My beautiful, beautiful people, the great Mike, the beautiful Sister Cameron, the lovely King Daryl, Hen Dog. Thank you so much for coming in the building, as well as my new people, um, Electrified Tree. Thank you so much. I appreciate your input today. Salute to Justin McGee. Salute to the King, Stephen, in the building. Thank you so much, True Will, for coming through. PG, all the family, everybody who came in tonight and, showed some love and shared your thoughts with me. I really do appreciate it because it was an impromptu live that I wanted to do. Like I said, I was going to actually do a regular commentary, but, it's always good to chop it up with you guys in real time. So I wanted to, do a live with you guys, and I'm glad that I did. But yeah, that's it for me for now. Of course, I will be in touch, and I will do a better job, in next week's live to, of course, give you guys an update way in advance, so that you guys have a little bit more time to, schedule me in to whatever plans that you may have. So I'll do better next time. probably Saturday or Sunday, of course, are my particular days of choice. Most recently, I guess I have an affinity for Sundays, it seems. So, yes, I will give you guys a heads up. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday evening. I hope you guys have a beautiful week ahead. As always, wishing you guys well, wishing you guys peace, wishing you guys clarity. And I will see you next time. Big love to you. Peace.